Morning, folks. It is Wednesday. It's 11:12 New York time in the morning. I need to eat some leftovers so that they don't linger in the fridge any longer than they have to. And we're gonna make another round of mantou for Grandma. She's not completely pleased with it, but I think she appreciates the change in offering. She keeps telling me every day I have to add a little bit more flour and a little bit more yeast, and I think she wants like a more solid, more glutinous mantou, but she, again, her teeth are like really questionably structured right now, and I don't know if what she wants is what she is able to handle, which, to be honest, is kind of the story of all of our lives. But I get it. So now I just nod and say, yes, thank you for the tips, Grandma. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because she's at least able to eat this. I'll add a little bit more flour to make it a little bit tougher, but I don't really trust her anymore. Like, I don't trust her judgment of reality as it stands for me. She trusts her own reality, which is not of my world. Hello, Singapore, and happy Lunar New Year. Yes. Hi, Colorado. So let me just pull out chat, and then let me take that recipe that we were using, and let me make a 1.5 batch, because I don't want to do this again in 3 days. I want to do it again in 4 days. So this recipe is from redhousespice.com. Actually, I'll just drop it in the chat box and I'll pin it. That's the recipe that I'm using in case anybody's curious what we're making today. And shout out to this recipe that seemed to work last time, and let's hope it works again. And hopefully I'll get to eat some snacks as we wait for the dough. There's a resting period and all of that. Yeah, I'm just happy to be here. Happy to be tired but alive. Happy to be gaining new understanding of Grandma's conditions. Happy to be giving myself grace to learn how to handle Grandma's aging. I'm happy to be maybe closer to finding more validity in maybe my neurodivergent tendencies. I don't really feel like I need an autism diagnosis, but I keep seeing all these posts sharing people's like abrasions of existence being neurodivergent, and I'm like, I identify with a lot of these traits. Like, what does this mean? And also, guess what? It's these same traits that have caused me so much like social friction, where I think in real life I could just be an asshole, or I might have autistic traits that make it really hard for me to understand people and make it hard for them to understand me, and so we just go about interacting in a way that we just miss each other completely and misunderstand each other's intentions and motivations entirely. And yeah, it's been frustrating and like kind of heartbreaking, and it's been making me feel like very guilty and broken in a lot of ways. But you know, whether or not I'm autistic, just knowing that there are other people who experience reality this way gives me a little bit of comfort in thinking that maybe I'm not a horrible monster who just keeps doing asshole things. Like maybe this is just another reality that some people don't experience as much, and so I've been made to feel like it's an illness or a problem or a fault or a flaw or just like something irreparably alienating. Those are the things that are going through my head today. Oh, and I also need to run the dishwasher, so let's get that going. Yes. Yes. Stack it. Stack it. I don't actually know what executive dysfunction means. Um, I feel like I don't struggle too much with like functioning, but I struggle. Maybe I struggle a lot more than I'm cognizant of, but I do struggle with like communicating with other people. I think I get called rude a lot. I get called like harsh or just like very aggressive presenting words and adjectives. And that makes me feel bad because I don't want to be a person who hurts other people. But I also don't want to be fake. So, like, learning how to kind of tame my directness has been a struggle because taming the directness sometimes makes it feel like I'm being inauthentic. And that just makes me feel so, like, oddly molded and slimy. Alright, we're going to do a 1.5 recipe, which means I'm going to fuck up the math. But let's go. We're going to do 375 grams of all-purpose flour. And I'll do 25 grams extra just because Grandma wanted it to be more solid. So we'll stray from the recipe a little bit. And then we're going to need some yeast. So 1.5 teaspoon. And then we're going to need about a slight heaping teaspoon of baking powder. Now, Grandma said that I should add more baking soda in here. So I'm going to add a little bit because this recipe actually doesn't have baking soda. So let's see how she likes that. And then we're going to go in with sugar. And I think we're going to go a little bit heavy on the salt this time. Because last time I felt like it was under seasoned for bread. I think you like me being harsh and rude because you don't have to be with me in real life as like my friend or as my partner, you know? I feel like it's a different experience. I was actually just talking with a former coworker yesterday about this. We were having lunch, and I was like, I think everybody really likes me on the internet because, like, this level of directness and honesty and authenticity, whatever you want to call it, is not the norm on the internet. So when I'm presenting myself, I'm an outlier. So I'm sort of like literally outstanding from the rest of the content that might be in your feed. And so it's like a nice break from the rhythms and patterns that you might be otherwise inundated with. But in real life, this level of directness on a consistent basis can be like exhausting. So I'm thinking sometimes maybe I don't even need to like shift the way I say things. Maybe sometimes I just don't say things. Maybe give my friends a vacation from me, if that makes sense. Because I think it takes so much more work to understand them and to have them understand me to get to a place where we can communicate smoothly without burning each other out. That maybe the most non-burnout thing to do is to like decrease my communication, period. So we're going to need about 200 grams of water. And, I had like, I know we're kind of post-pandemic, but not really post-pandemic, but I had my first ever like virtual date the other day where I just did video chat. And it was very fascinating because this dude identified as neurodivergent, and he said, I don't really like these terms because it's obviously made to make you feel like you're the one who's an outsider and you're standing out because you're a divergent. But a lot of the things that he was saying, I was like, yeah, that's exactly kind of what I've been wondering about, like he was basically saying he doesn't really want to change himself to fit in because that's just like not it for him, so he would rather, it's not that he doesn't want to find his tribe or his people, so to speak, but he needs to find his tribe who really understands him and accepts him for who he is, and not to, find a tribe that accepts him because he conforms to their expectations and needs of operation and decorum. And I really felt that on a lot of levels. What I also did observe though is like, he's very verbose, which reminded me a lot of myself. And I could feel like it was kind of tiring to hear him out. Like even though I was very engaged and interested in what he had to say, it was kind of exhausting to listen to him. So that actually gave me great perspective about how other people might be feeling when I'm communicating with them. Maybe I'm the really verbose one, and it's just like not sustainable for my friends sometimes, even though they care, even though they're interested. Just like the amount. Yeah, I can imagine how tired y'all are, but you sign up for this masochism. And that's the thing, right? KG says it does make sense. Not only that, are your friends as direct and honest with you as you are with them? Discretion is the better part of valor. And yeah, I think that's the thing. I don't think most of my friends are as quote-unquote direct and quote-unquote honest with me because, one, they might not feel comfortable sharing that much of themselves. Some of them truly just don't even think about these things. So we're just all operating within different capacities and natures and thinking that the other person understands us, but they don't actually. I think sometimes even when we want to understand someone, we're not always capable of it. So yeah, I'm thinking a lot, you know. I think part of meeting new people, especially after a breakup, is really necessary sometimes to give myself some perspective. I think it's really easy to blame yourself when things go wrong, when relationships go wrong or break down, and I'm definitely prone to kind of rumination on, shit, what did I do wrong? What could have gone better? Like, what should I do differently the next time? How do I avoid this from happening? Which again, I think is absolutely an extension of my need for control, which, you know, is at its core a problem in and of itself, but also maybe just a symptom of something, and I actually still need to understand the actual problem that's triggering all of these. But seeing what other people think, seeing how they engage, seeing how they interact, seeing what they prefer, seeing what they can tolerate, just reminding myself that you can love someone who doesn't understand you, and maybe they can love you too and still not understand you, and distinguishing between knowing that you love a person and knowing that you need someone who understands you to be your life partner, and understanding that sometimes those are different people. It's a lot. I'm still processing it all still, but I think all of this helps. Going live to talk about it with strangers help. Meeting strangers on the internet to talk about it one-on-one helps. Going to therapy helps. Even Instagram memes help. They all kind of help. The thing is to not trust any one source of information as the end-all be-all. I think the thing is to get a survey of the land through different sources and different perspectives, and let it just kind of like cook down into a stew over time. Hello, Northern California. This dough with a little extra flour is definitely a little harder to work. This could be either a disaster, and Grandma's not going to want any of it, and she's going to have even more suggestions for me on how to do it differently and better next time, or she could be satisfied. I'm going to vote for the first one. I think the first one is more probable. It seems like you are doing a lot of analyzation, looking for faults or failures when there are so many other aspects to consider. Absolutely. I tend to blame myself. I think it's just a defense mechanism, probably from childhood, of like always feeling like I'm the outsider, so I must be the one not doing something, right? And, you know, I'm not belonging because I haven't understood the rules of the game yet, so it's been like a lifelong chase to understand the rules of the game. And I'm just like, what game? What game now? Like, everything is a game, and I don't know the rules to any game. Like, it's... Why would I even want to play any game at this point? Hi, Jersey. Hi, NorCal. I don't have coffee, but I should have made tea. But I'm actually gonna stay away from caffeine because yesterday I made a matcha. I ended up using like a quarter of this container, which was way too much caffeine. And by the time I met up with my former coworker for a lunch, I was like buzzed, like paralyzed buzzed. So today maybe let's just take a caffeine break. I will be eating shortly though, after we finish kneading this and letting it rest for a little bit. I could get down into this. This is very therapeutic for me, this kneading. I think it's just when my schedule is a little bit busier and I feel more stressed about not having enough time set aside to do it, but I think all of these activities I can start looking at in terms of investment into my mental health, you know, like taking an hour to make some dough and buns could very well be the key to setting aside a block of time where I just do this and nothing else. And train myself to not feel guilty for spending an hour and a half to make steamed buns. Hi, Belgium. Today we're going to be eating some microwave collard greens sandwiched with my leftover lentils, and we're going to finish off that goat cheesecake that I still haven't died from yet, so now you know. If you cook it on the stovetop and then you pressure cook it, maybe you won't die from bloated goat cheese that's 3 months expired, or you will, just not now. It's possible. Anything's possible. I could be autistic. We just don't know at this point. Let me switch hands a little bit and see if I can get equal muscle development going. How's everyone's first 2 days of the week been? Good? Bad? You looking forward to warmer weather? Not that we had much of a winter anyway. I'm gonna take a break from talking. You kids chat. Yeah, I canceled my class pass too. I just, I don't feel like going into the gym anymore and working out next to people unmasked and feeling weak as fuck. I just don't know how much more exposure I can get to complete total weakness from long COVID. You're feeling new again. Okay. Office to gym to home. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that life. I think proximity of the gym to your home also matters. I think when the gym is like half an hour away, it's so much harder than when it's 15 minutes away. You have ducks. So cute. All right, so this dough is getting quite tight. We're gonna put it back in the bowl. As you can see, it's still quite uneven, like a scone almost. We're just gonna let it rest for half an hour for the gluten to develop a little bit. Those are such cute duck names. We'll see if Grandma thinks this dough is stiff enough. She's a very hard to please woman. Also gonna eat some broccoli because I didn't have veggies yesterday. Throw a couple of leaves in the microwave. Getting all our veggies in right now. Here's our cake. My favorite kind of veggie is absolutely these farmers market collard greens, for sure. They're like $4 a bunch. I've never thought I would just be paying $4 for like 30 leaves, but they taste amazing. I feel better about them coming from a closer, more local, smaller farm, and yeah, feel good about it. We're gonna eat this strawberry that fell on the floor that I washed later, but if it was looking kind of iffy, so I didn't want to give it to Grandma in case it gave her the poops. They're sweet. So in parts of China, they have these like barbecue skewer stands, and some of those stands grill the mantou. They slice it, they skewer it, and then they grill it, and they brush it with the spiced oil. Fucking one of the most amazing things I've ever tasted in life. I would rank that maybe in my like top 30 or 40 foods ever. And you might not think that's a lot, but if you start counting on one hand all the foods that you've loved, I think that's pretty high. Especially for someone who eats as much as I do. Wilty greens, here we go. It's lunchtime, baby. Wow, it's like so cute. These are like cold lentils, warm leaves. A little bite. These are they're like baby collard greens. I had the option to buy kale this week, but there was only one bunch of collard greens and like 8 bunches of kale, and I was like, these collard greens are for me. No, these stems are pretty delicious. They're pretty edible. Yeah, they don't even need to be like cooked down really. They're just like crunchy. They're not like tough. I can snap it with my hand. They remind me of the texture of like bok choy. Yeah, like a grape leaf or like a collard burrito of sorts, you know? I have been loving wrapping stuff inside these leaves. So these are for sure my favorite veggies. The texture experience is so good. It's almost like a low carb rice wrapper. Have fun cleaning. Happy to accompany you while you clean. I have fallen behind on house duties this week. Like I keep putting the laundry off, but I'm just letting it flow, y'all. Having a bigger heap of laundry waiting for me won't be the worst thing in the world. Lacto-fermenting the stems. Interesting. Interesting. They're just so cute and bite-sized. They're like a huge tater tot size, you know? I would like more spices on these, please. What about a little honey mustard? Do you think that would be so disgusting? We'll find out. I don't think it's gonna go very well, but I saw it and I was like, we need to know for science. Have a good day at work. You coming? There we go. It's not bad, actually. Let's try something else. Let's try barbecue sauce. Let's try hot sauce. Let's try ketchup. Make every bite your last bite. No, mooncakes are not for Lunar New Year. Mooncakes are for Mid-Autumn Festival. Completely different holiday. I might make just rice cakes with the tteokbokki that I have left in the freezer. I don't really feel like celebrating, honestly. I mean, it's really just sad. Barbecue sauce is interesting. I think I almost needed more of it to taste it. Ketchup. That's a bottle of ketchup I've had since Delish days, by the way. A trooper. Very, very dominant flavor from the ketchup. And then añejo hot sauce from Nashville. It's a collard green leaf, briefly steamed in the microwave. We're sandwiching a little bit of our leftover lentils in here, and then we're experimenting with some random condiments. This is a bad idea. I'm gonna use a spoon. Yum. Smoky. Very, very smoky. Very good experiment. Highly recommend. I do have pickles, but I don't feel like the texture of pickles will go very well with a leaf texture. I could be wrong. Yeah, this is one of my favorite, like, American style hot sauces. And now we're just gonna eat broccoli. If you had to guess, I think, let me see if there's vinegar in it. Yep, chilies, vinegar, salt, garlic. That's it, just 4 ingredients. If you had to guess, do you think my viewership has predominantly any demographic? Besides like women, we know that it's overwhelmingly women, but do you think there's any other demographic that like is really majorly represented in my viewership? Have you noticed any patterns? I think we've done an age poll before, and it was like all over the place. We've gotten like 20s to 70s. Whoa, you're 18. You're a baby. I used to have like a mixture of annoyance and pride whenever someone older would call me a baby. Just noting that my youth is still very present. I don't know how that makes you feel being called a baby, but that just reminded me of how I felt. And now I'm old. Well, thank you for that first snack. We're gonna rework the dough and have a second snack. It's been 17 minutes. I don't have any plans to do any videos, but I will. I don't know what kind of videos, but I will. Don't worry. If I live to the day when I have enough energy and peaceful mind, then I will make videos. I will keep writing words and recording things and document my life. I've concluded that I'm just a very egocentric person. Very egotistical, not in a like I'm out to hurt other people, but in a very like self-centered way. I have made my life around my only child syndrome. I think my mentality is still very egocentric. I think I recognize it. I think I don't want to be so egocentric, but I also think there's so much I can do right now to prevent myself from not being egocentric. So I think I'm just kind of sitting with this acknowledgement for now. So we reworked the dough a little bit. I'm gonna let it rest for the remainder of the half hour, and then we'll rework it one more time, and then we'll slice it and we'll proof it and we'll cook it. Hello, Morgan's cat. Was I gonna make something else today? Yeah, I should. Let's roast some peanuts because I've eaten all of the roasted peanuts that I've cooked last time and I miss it. So that moment when you realize you are so much older than you thought you were. My YouTube videos introduce to you roasted peanuts? How is that possible though? Roasted peanuts are amazing. I cannot imagine being the person to introduce you to roasted peanuts. Good God. Yeah, I was thinking just peanuts, but because, like, I don't really want to bake another cake right now because my friend gave me 2 blueberry scones yesterday, and so I want to finish eating the cake today and the scones tomorrow, and then I'm not going to be home to eat tomorrow, really. Like, Thursday, a friend's dropping off his cat for me to look after for a few days while he goes out of town, and Friday, actually, maybe I'll bake it on Friday. Saturday, Sunday I'll be in Chinatown with Aaron and some friends to eat, and then maybe a first date after in the afternoon. So I just don't want to cook too much at home these days since I won't be like home, you know, so. Bye, Godzilla. Oh yeah, roasting oats before cooking them. Bake it for 10 minutes. Okay. What else? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna bake anything else. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I have a lot of milk, guys, and I still haven't finished my yogurt from last time yet. What do I do? Oh my God, look at how much milk I have. There's so much milk. Help. What do I do? Make my own mozzarella? You crazy. There's no way. There's no way. A pudding. Like a rice pudding? I need more ideas. I need more ideas. I have way too much milk. Is there any recipe where I can cook this milk down? Should we just try to cook the milk down? Sweet bean pudding situation. Holy shit. Dude, that's genius because beans take forever to cook. The milk will be cooked down. This is why I keep you guys around. I have barley. That's not a bean. I have black-eyed peas. Those, yeah, I guess could be a sweet bean. I guess I don't have the right beans to be sweet right now. I have chickpeas. Those also seem weird. I have these black chickpeas. Have you guys ever seen black chickpeas? Have you ever cooked with black chickpeas? I got this from one of the food shows. Black boot beans. B-U-T-T-E. A truly unique legume used in any recipe calling for garbanzo beans, great in salads and Mid-Eastern soups. Almond pudding. Black sesame pudding. Black sesame. Black sesame. Black sesame. Dude, like a sesame soup? Like a fucking tahini pudding? How are you guys so amazing at this? We're gonna write a cookbook together one day. Just based on our lives, on the creations that we democratically drive ourselves into. Better than any other democracy that's ever existed in the history of the humankind. Recipes for a lot of milk. Let's just see what the internet comes up with. 25 recipes to use up the gallon of milk in your fridge. Okay, you ready? French toast? No, I don't have bread. Edible cookie dough. Edible cookie dough. Old-fashioned banana pudding. Okay, that's the actual curdy pudding. Maybe we should make some sort of vanilla pudding. Vanilla pudding, guys? Should we try to make vanilla pudding? And chocolate pudding? Oh my god. I don't know why I'm so excited for this, but I am. Whole milk, cornstarch, salt, granulated sugar, egg yolks, butter, vanilla extract. We have it all. We have vanilla paste too. 3 cups whole milk divided, 3 tablespoons cornstarch. All right. All right. First, we have to inspect the goodness of the milks. We have to be very careful with that. I was just thinking, I bought all these eggs. And now I don't have a purpose for them. And now I do. I have a lot of milk. I have a lot of milk. But first in, first out, so. Let's just make one small recipe first before I use up the other milks, because what if I fuck it up, you know? What if I fuck it up? So we only need 3 cups of whole milk, huh? I think your standard for magic is very low, but I'll take it. This one smells a little funky, but it doesn't look funky. So let me taste it. It's funky. Glad we tasted it. This is what we have to do with Grandma's milks, you know. we're going to be mixing our cornstarch into some of this cold milk. 3 tablespoons worth. And then we're adding remaining milk, salt, and sugar. Just a pinch of salt. It calls for 3/4 cup of sugar. I'm not using that much. That's way too much. We're gonna use 1/3 cup of sugar. Why is this so brave? Just using the milk, that could be bad. Allow the mixture to heat over medium heat until it's steaming. Don't let it boil, okay? Don't let it boil. I have a little bit of vanilla powder here from Burlap and Barrel that I needed to do a video shoot, so we're just gonna put that in there. We're also gonna use a little bit of vanilla paste. I think you technically can freeze milk. I'm gonna add in the rest of this pearl salt that's been hanging out too, just to use it up. Okay, and now we're going to separate out 3 egg yolks. Store the egg whites somewhere else. Now we're gonna have to use egg whites for something. Cycle of life. normally would use both hands to do this, but I forgot to wash my right hand. So I didn't want to contaminate it with any potential fats on my hand, in case we wanted to beat this egg white. Bye, certified clown. Thanks for joining us. I love all your usernames today. Ghost, what up? What up, Ghost? Okay. We're going to label this with the date so I don't forget how old these egg whites are. We'll probably make a cake with it, honestly. That's my best guess. While the milk heats, whisk the egg yolks in a separate small bowl. Once the milk is steaming, stream half cup of the hot milk mixture into the egg yolks, whisking constantly. Slowly add the egg yolk mixture back into the pot. Okay, we're gonna do a little tempering situation. Got it. We also need a little bit of butter. One tablespoon. Nobody saw that. Oh no, my handle broke off. My heart handle. Normally you would whisk the eggs with a little bit of sugar. I don't know why this recipe didn't ask for that. All right. Time to look at our dough here. Knead it one last time, and then we're going to cut it up. Now, usually that recipe yields 6 pieces, so this one technically should yield 9 pieces. We're gonna have to figure out where to situate them for them to proof well. Smoother, huh? So much multitasking, y'all. I'm gonna have to line them up on this sheet tray first. So I actually yielded 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pieces. Great. Okay. Now we're gonna try to finish this pudding. It is steaming, so we're gonna start ladling. Ideally, you can ladle as you stir, so no curdling happens. Butter goes in at the very end when the curd has already finished, basically. It's just for flavor and texture to make it even richer. And now we stream this yolky mixture back in here. And I'm gonna turn this heat to even lower. You want gentle heat, gentle pour. And to introduce less air into the pudding, you can use a spatula just so that there's no milk burning on the bottom. You're still stirring it, but you're not really introducing extra air. It reduces the foaming on top of the pudding sometimes to do it this way. Let's taste a little bit of this. Oh yeah, that is definitely sweet enough. Wow. I know that sugar technically does a lot for a recipe, but I basically just halved the sugar and it still tastes way too sweet to me. So, American recipes, I don't really know what they're up to, but they are not tailored to my palate for sure. I mean, there's a third of a cup in here, but the original recipe called for 3/4 cup. So I basically halved the sugar. I should look for clean jars to put this into. Do you think we should do a little nutmeg in here? Yes or no? Done. Thank you. The stone is much less sharp than the Granada one. I have 2 nutmegs and it's actually kind of amazing that I can smell the difference between them. This one has a lot more pininess to it, the Granada Gold. The stone nutmeg is just way more well-rounded and much less outstanding in a very like bold, striking way. thinking about cardamom actually, but maybe not this round. Maybe just this for now. I dig it. Wait, when did this cornstarch go in? Whoops. This was supposed to go in. Nutmeg works really well in cream and potatoes. Works so good in potatoes. I was like, yeah, why isn't this thickening? That's why. The cornstarch did not go in. You sent me a DM? Okay, I'll check it. I don't have my phone right now, it's charging in the other room. Ooh, it's starting to get glossy. We are reaching the stage where we would call it nap when you make ice cream, where it starts to become almost silky in its viscosity, and you start to see this layer of gloss forming that just looks so shiny. The whole mixture's properties change before your eyes. So this says we're supposed to whisk constantly until mixture starts to simmer and has thickened. Remove from heat and whisk in vanilla and butter. Supposedly this should only take 10 minutes, but I don't think that's true at all. I still have so many groups of milk in my fridge. We can make all the things. I just can't keep up, you know? Can't keep up with eating all of it. You see that shininess? Almost looks like eggnog. I do follow recipes sometimes when it's something that I'm not knowledgeable about. Or if I, you know, care about not having completely curdled eggs. I think the last time I made pudding was probably pre-pandemic times in the test kitchen. I've made pudding a couple of times at one of my restaurant jobs, but it's been a while. Sometimes it's nice to follow someone else's instructions, you know? You can see it's starting to cook on the bottom, thicken. I think we're just like 4 minutes away, potentially. Can you see the texture change? With like every 10 seconds, I feel like it's getting thicker. The spatula feels different in your hand as it moves through the thickening pudding. And obviously, it's not going to look like pudding until it chills. So I'm going to probably pull this within the next minute and a half because I don't want to overcook it. We are on a very low heat. The recipe said medium heat, but I really didn't feel like burning any of this. So I think custard is a little bit thicker and frozen custard is like ice cream. Pudding you can't really freeze, but I'm not sure. I also think it's probably a very regional thing. Ooh, nobody's gonna eat the skin. We're gonna put it in the jar before it gets to that skin stage. So one test is, if you can trace a path and have it hold a little bit. You can see the walls of the pot. I can kind of make it hold its own shape. So this is like pretty close, I would say. I'm probably overcooking it slightly right now. So I'm gonna count to 20 and turn the heat off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're gonna add in the butter. Wait, how did your mom make it? No, your mom didn't make it wrong. I'm making it wrong. Mom never makes things wrong. Never, never, ever. Butter. Yum. That little smidge of butter just melting away. Combining. Just a vanilla pudding. Okay, so we're going to get ready to steam our mantou. So I need to reorganize everything a little bit. I hope this is set enough. I don't actually know if it is, but guess We'll see. Did we use a plate last time? We did, didn't we? Have a good one. Rice pudding is super easy to make. Some people put egg yolks in it and some people don't. So you can just go the easy route and just do it with milk and sugar and rice. Egg yolk kind of makes it extra rich though. Pretty tasty, guys. It's pretty tasty. Maybe we'll make another batch on Friday. Maybe I can give it to friends. more if you strangers live close by. Then I could actually give you food that we make together. That would be pretty awesome. Yeah, I've passed by Rice to Riches. You know, it's kind of like bougie. When they first opened up in New York City, I was like, ain't no way I'm going to be spending that much money on rice pudding. Now, maybe. Maybe I'd be open to it. Maybe that was the wrong choice. Maybe you belong here. Maybe you belong here. Okay, now I'm gonna have to clean up that pot so we can cook all of these at the same time. Yep, same exact one that I made the other day. All right, let's eat some pudding, y'all. I've never actually had warm pudding before. This is exciting. Great call. all two. These actually don't seem like they're proofing as well as the other ones are. I'm guessing because of Grandma's added flour. It's making it harder to be as puffy. So we'll let it proof a little bit longer. See how far we can get. In the meantime, let's heat up our leftover cake and eat it with our pudding. Yeah, the peanuts are in the oven, but the oven is off, so no worries. Hot. Very hot. Let's let it rest a little bit. Definitely burn my tongue with that. Not worth it. Be patient. think we're gonna be ready to boil and steam very soon. You know, it's very interesting. What I'm noticing right now is that if I were doing this dishware unloading without a live going on, I feel like my mental state would be noticeably different. I'm not exactly sure I can describe and pinpoint what would be different, but it has occurred to me that I would not be doing anything physically too different than what I'm doing now, but I feel like mentally it would be very different. There is just something to feeling eyes on you. All right. Bye, Rabina. Back to the pudding cake. Wow. That makes it so much more delicious. That is our signal to start the steaming process. So let's check up on the buns. Wow. Changes the entire cake. This pudding changes the entire cake flavor. Approved. This pudding is a better sauce than cream cheese, than sunflower seed butter, which is what you see in the thumbnail. The thumbnail is this cake with sunflower seed butter. I guess vanilla and orange, or vanilla and grapefruit, make a very good pairing. We poke it, and it still springs back. It's definitely expanded. Let's do it. Full heat, full heat, full heat. And then it's probably gonna take 2 minutes to come up to full heat, boil. Then we reduce it. Reduce the temperature. The end is nigh, y'all, and we have 12% battery left. So if we get cut off, then we get cut off. I hope you've enjoyed our randomness together today. Our pudding adventure, which surely we will make more of. Maybe chocolate next time? Maybe lavender pudding? I don't know. back on cleaning. What a feat. The cleaning never ends. Okay, now we're gonna start the timer up. Still coming to a boil. So we're gonna eat up our pudding and our cake. Wow, orange cake, vanilla pudding. Highly recommend, y'all. Highly recommend. Ooh, sorry. Guess I'll just use my fingers. I think that's it. I think I'm gonna go because my battery's out. But basically we're bringing this up to a boil, and once it reaches full boil, we'll turn it down to a medium low and let it cook for about 10 minutes. And then hopefully Grandma likes these more than she liked the previous batch. All right, folks. Take care of yourself. Maybe I'll see you Friday. Maybe not. IDK. In whatever case, eat your vitamins, get more than 5 hours of sleep, which I have not been doing. And continue being kind to yourself. Hello, Wisconsin, and goodbye, everyone.